Hello, Scorpio. I know you didn't arrive here by accident. Something deep within you, an unspoken feeling, a quiet wave of intuition has guided you to this message. Because you, more than anyone in the zodiac, are the one who sees what hides behind perfect appearances. You can sense when the energy around you starts to shift, when a sweet gaze sends a chill down your spine, when a seemingly tender touch makes you retreat into silence. Today, I need to talk to you about a woman. Not just any woman, but someone already within your circle. Someone who is quietly draining your life force, little by little, through whispered words, seemingly innocent requests, and emotional storms that you always end up carrying. Maybe you've already started doubting yourself, wondering why you've been so tired lately, why something feels off. That's not a coincidence. That's your energy being violated. You are not weak, Scorpio. You are powerful, deep, and full of inner strength. And because of that, you attract those who have no light of their own, those who survive by clinging to the radiance of others. And if you don't recognize this in time, you may slowly lose yourself in the effort to save someone who never truly wanted to be saved, someone who only wants to keep you as their personal source of energy. Don't let your empathy become a burden. Don't let your kindness turn into shackles. Today, I'll help you recognize the signs and show you how to reclaim every sacred piece of energy you never had the obligation to give away. Because your light, Scorpio, is not something anyone has the right to possess. This woman carries the signature of what we often call an energy vampire. She may not show fangs or shadows, but her presence leaves its mark in ways that are just as consuming. One of the most telling signs is how she always seems to appear when you're at your brightest, when your spirit is high, when your energy is flowing freely, when you've just had a breakthrough or are beginning to feel truly at peace with yourself. It's almost as if she senses that glow from afar, like a moth drawn to flame. But she's not here to celebrate you, she's here to feed off of you. You'll notice that her stories are almost always drenched in misfortune. There's always a crisis, a heartbreak, a betrayal, a tragedy. And somehow these stories pull you in, stir your empathy, make you feel responsible, like maybe you're the only one who understands or the only one who can help. But the truth is, these tales aren't just shared for comfort or connection. They're tools to secure your emotional investment. Her drama isn't meant to bring you closer in trust. It's meant to hook you in emotionally and keep you entangled. After spending time with her, you may feel a strange kind of exhaustion, mental, emotional, and even physical. You leave the conversation not uplifted but drained, as though your energy has been siphoned off while you were too distracted trying to be present, supportive, or compassionate. It's a slow depletion, one that feels invisible at first, until you realize you're running on empty after every encounter. There is also the subtle sting of jealousy that she tries to disguise as concern. When something good happens to you, she may offer a lukewarm smile, a delayed congratulations, or worse, slide in a small comment that plants a seed of doubt. She might say, I guess that's good for you, but are you sure it's really what you want? Or, you've changed a lot. Maybe not in the best way. These phrases don't come from love. They're crafted to chip away at your confidence, to make your victories feel less solid, your growth feel uncertain. More dangerously still, she operates through emotional manipulation. She may try to bind you to her with exaggerated closeness, frequent physical touch, long emotional talks, sudden outpourings of affection, and then pull back without warning, leaving you confused, searching for what went wrong. This pattern of hot and cold isn't love, it's control. She wants you to rely on her approval, to crave her warmth, and to fear her withdrawal. She uses connection as a weapon, one that keeps you tiptoeing, apologizing, giving more than you have, hoping to earn her stability. This is not what healthy emotional bonds look like. If your interactions consistently leave you feeling smaller, unsure of yourself, or emotionally indebted, you must begin to ask why. This kind of relationship doesn't grow you, it shrinks you, and recognizing the signs is the first sacred act of reclaiming your power. For Scorpio, a sign of deep emotional insight and instinctual wisdom, the true danger of entanglement with an energy vampire is not always immediate or visible. It doesn't arrive like a thunderclap. It creeps in, slowly dismantling your inner foundations, often in silence. At first, the connection may feel intense, even fated. You are drawn in not just because you feel needed, but because there's a part of you that believes your presence might offer healing. And yet, without realizing it, you begin to pay a price that is far greater than what you receive in return. Over time, your confidence, once a quiet fire at your core, begins to flicker. You start questioning your own instincts, the very gift that makes you who you are. This woman does not criticize you outright, but through subtle undermining, she chips away at your sense of clarity. What once felt certain now feels blurred. You may find yourself hesitating before making decisions you would have once trusted without second thought. The depth of your insight, Scorpio, becomes clouded under layers of emotional manipulation, and without clear cause, you begin to feel like a diminished version of yourself. Your creativity suffers next. The flow of intuitive power that usually rises so naturally from your inner world begins to feel obstructed. You feel uninspired, disconnected from your rituals, your passions, even your solitude. Where there was once fertile ground for transformation and expression, there is now a numb silence. She may not have told you to stop dreaming, but her presence sows seeds of doubt, making your passions feel self-indulgent or your focus seem selfish. The more time you spend trying to understand her moods or fulfill her emotional demands, the less time you have to tend to your own sacred inner life. And perhaps most insidiously of all, she begins to isolate you, not by forbidding relationships or declaring ultimatums, but by making you feel misunderstood by everyone else. Comments like, "No one really gets you like I do," or "Your friends don't seem to care the way I care," are not affection, they are traps. They pull you away from people who truly love you, who would remind you of your worth, your power, your wholeness. Instead, you retreat, you start keeping more to yourself. You may even feel ashamed to admit how tired or confused you've become because part of you fears that no one would understand, or worse, that no one would believe you. This is how she creates conflict inside you. The mind begins to split. Part of you still sees your strength and knows something is wrong, while another part doubts that perception, wondering if you're overreacting, if you're being ungrateful, if it's all in your head. This internal war leaves you emotionally exhausted. And in that exhaustion, you become more pliable, more easily led, more likely to remain in something that is slowly, silently eroding your spirit. Scorpio, this is not your destiny. You were not born to be siphoned or silenced. You were born to rise from your own ashes, not carry the weight of someone else's storm. And recognizing this pattern, this slow poisoning of your intuition, your creativity, and your inner circle is not weakness, it is awakening. It is your power returning. Scorpio, your power lies in your perception. And the first step in protecting yourself is not reaction, but recognition. The patterns of an energy vampire are not always blatant. They are veiled, subtle, and often dressed as affection or concern. But if you begin to pay attention not just with your eyes, but with your nervous system, with your gut, with the quiet tension behind your ribs, you'll start to notice the signs. Jealousy that flares when you are celebrated. Emotional manipulation disguised as vulnerability. Physical closeness that always feels just slightly invasive. And conversations that leave you carrying the weight of her disdain for others, as though she breathes more easily when someone else is diminished. These are not acts of intimacy. These are red flags waving softly in the wind, waiting for you to look up. Once you have begun to identify these signals, it is time to engage what I call the distance test. For 2 full weeks, intentionally reduce your contact with her. Don't cut her off with drama or confrontation, just ease back. Respond more slowly. Decline invitations. Keep interactions light and superficial. This is not a punishment. It is a calibration. During this time, observe yourself, not her yourself. Pay attention to how you feel emotionally, mentally, physically. Do you sleep better? Do your thoughts grow clearer? Does your spirit begin to feel like it's waking from something? If so, you are not imagining the drain. You are recovering from it. But protection does not end with distance. It must be followed by boundary. This means no longer offering your inner world on a silver plate. Stop sharing your fears, your goals, your private dreams with someone who has shown they will use them as currency or leverage. Speak less. Reveal less. Maintain your kindness, but keep your center protected. Then turn inward and begin the slow ritual of restoration. Scorpio, for you, this could be time in nature, where silence wraps you like sacred cloth. It could be meditation, candlelight, deep breathing, returning to the rituals that remind you of who you are when no one else is watching. Strengthen your aura, not through hardness, but through alignment with your truth. Surround yourself with people who do not need you to dim in order for them to feel seen. True connection will never ask you to shrink. It will not make you question your value. You are not here to be emotionally devoured. You are here to walk through the world with discernment and depth, and that means knowing the difference between love and attachment, between support and dependence, between compassion and sacrifice. Above all, remember this. Your light is too sacred to be siphoned by those who have not earned access to it. You do not need to explain your boundaries to those who only seek to cross them. You do not need to feel guilty for protecting what is holy within you. There is a profound distinction between empathy and self-erasure. And Scorpio, your soul already knows which one you've been practicing. Now is the time to choose differently. Choose yourself, not with anger or fear, but with unwavering devotion to your own healing. Because no one, no matter how fragile they seem, is worth the slow and silent death of your inner fire. Scorpio, if you've made it this far, then something deep within you has already begun to awaken. Maybe it started as a quiet discomfort, something you couldn't quite name but felt in your body every time a certain person entered the room. Maybe it was the way your joy dimmed when they spoke, or how your thoughts grew heavy in the silence after they left. Or maybe it was simply the exhaustion, the kind of tired that meditation couldn't fix. The kind of tired that comes not from work or worry, but from carrying the emotional weight of someone who was never meant to be your responsibility. This isn't about judgment. It's not about cutting people off in anger or labeling someone as the villain. It's about choosing your life with intention, choosing your energy, choosing your peace. Scorpio, you were not born to be consumed by others' chaos. You were born with the power of regeneration, of shedding what no longer serves, of emerging stronger each time you are cracked open. But even the strongest among us must be wise about where we place our light. Not everyone who seeks your warmth comes with love. Some come with hunger. You don't owe anyone your essence just because they say they need it. You don't owe anyone your silence just because they call you selfish when you begin to speak your truth. And you certainly don't owe anyone your loyalty when they confuse connection with control. The woman we've spoken of today, whether she's in your life now or only a memory, is not the lesson. You are. Your healing, your clarity, your reclaiming, that's the real story. So take this moment, Scorpio, not to mourn what you must release, but to honor what you are making room for. Healthier bonds, softer mornings, nights where your spirit feels rested, conversations that nourish you instead of deplete you. Relationships where your depth is not only understood but treasured. This is not the end of a connection. This is the beginning of coming home to yourself. Let today be the day you stop apologizing for needing space. Let today be the day you recognize that your intuition is not paranoia, it is protection. And let today be the day you say yes to yourself, fully, fiercely, without shame. Because no matter what anyone has told you, your energy was never too much. It was only too precious for the wrong hands.